Hello friends and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Akash Chopra. Learn CCNP switch in 20 days. Today's topic is VTP. So I have categorized VTP into two parts. So I'll be posting both the parts in the same day as well. So coming on to this VTP topic. So we'll be discussing the about VTP, that what is VTP. So we'll discuss about how the information is propagated from switches between switches. The VLAN database is transmitted from one switch to the other. We'll discuss about the requirements of VTP. We'll discuss about the modes of VTP1 and VTP2. So in the next part I'll be discussing the versions of VTP. So we'll discuss about VTP mode server, VTP mode client, and VTP mode transparent. So we'll discuss about CR numbers, that what is CR number, what are the types of VTP updates and messages. So we'll discuss about these things, and we'll discuss about the various types of messages. So these are the various types of messages of VTP. So I'll be simulating this topology onto EVE-NG to simulate that how the propagation is being done. For that I'll be using debug switch VLAN VTP events command. So it will enable the debugging for the VTP messages or updates. So let's get started with our topic. So coming on to what is VTP. So VTP stands for VLAN Trunking Protocol. So it is called VLAN Trunking Protocol. It is a Cisco proprietary and it works on layer 2. So by default, VTP is enabled on all the Cisco switches. So on all the Cisco switches, VTP will be enabled by default. And why is VTP used? So it is used to propagate the information of the VLAN database among the switches in the same domain. So the switches which will have the same domain, let's say XYZ. So it will propagate the information of the VLAN among the same domain. So VTP is used to centralize the VLAN management. For example, if we have 50 switches connected to each other and we have to introduce a VLAN, for example, VLAN 100 onto this switch, this switch, this switch. So there are 50 switches connected to each other. So it will be a task for us to assign that VLAN 100 to all the 50 switches. So for that we need to go on to onto each switch and configure the VLAN. So VTP is used to propagate the information. So it has some modes. So we'll be discussing about that. So the VLAN management is centralized. So VTP is used to centralize the VLAN management. And VTP uses multicast MAC address of 0100 0CCC and quadruple C. So as we already discussed that switch 1 will propagate the VLAN database across the switches, as let's assume this is in server. So we'll discuss about the modes of the VTP and what are the requirements of VTP. So the trunking must be enabled between the switches. So this should be a trunk port and this should be a trunk port. So it will enable .1Q encapsulation between switches. So I'll be simulating this topology. So I'll be taking you from the scratch that what are the operations that happen onto the topology. So VTP domain name must match. So initially we'll keep the domain name as none. So we already discussed that the VLAN database will only be propagated if the switches are in the same domain. So coming on to the third point, so VTP password must match if any. So if we have configured a password onto the VTP domain, so it should match. Otherwise, any other user won't be able to access the switch. So it's a very secured feature. So we'll be discussing more about this feature in the topology. So coming on to the modes of VTP1 and VTP2. So there are server mode, client mode, and transparent mode. So these three modes are there. So coming on to the server mode, so VTP mode server. So in this mode, we can delete, add, or edit the VLANs. So by default, this is the default mode. So all the switches would be in the default mode of VTP as server. So it can generate VTP updates and messages. So as servers would generate VTP updates and messages, and they also work as a relay agent. So we'll discuss about these in the topology. So these are the points which are important ones. So we can make a note of them in the topology itself. So we can create only normal range VLANs onto this mode, onto the mode of server, VTP mode server. We can only create the normal range VLANs. So we'll try creating extended range VLAN. So it won't allow us. So it stores the VLAN database into the flash memory in the VLAN.dat file. Only the transparent mode uh, VTP mode transparent will store the VLAN file in the flash memory in the VLAN.dat file as well as in the running config. So both server and client mode store the VLAN database into the flash memory in the VLAN.dat file. And now coming on to the VTP mode client. So in this mode, we cannot add, delete, and edit the VLANs. We can receive the VLAN information from the server mode switch. So it works as a relay agent. So it will propagate the information about this to the other switch, and we can only have normal range VLANs into this, and it stores the VLAN database into the flash memory in the form of VLAN.dat file. We already discussed it. So now coming to VTP mode transparent, so we can add, delete, or edit the VLANs in this mode of the switch. It is also a default mode in some platform of the switches. In some platform of switches, it's the default mode. So we can create normal range as well as extended range of VLANs in this mode of switch. So we'll try creating extended range VLAN, for example, 2000 onto the transparent mode switch. We will be successfully creating it. So it is also called a standalone switch, as it cannot generate the VTP updates, and it can receive the VLAN updates and relay them to the next switch without updating itself. So it won't update itself. So the CR number of this switch will always be 0. So it also stores the VLAN database in flash memory in the VLAN.dat file as well as in the running config. So we already discussed on that. For security purposes, we can also keep the critical servers in the transparent mode switch. So we'll discuss this about this in the topology. So coming on to configuration revision number called as CR number. So it stands for configuration revision number, as I already told. So it's a 32-bit value, and it is represented in the form of a decimal number. So it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. So by default, the CR number will be 0 on all the switches, and it will be increased by 1 whenever any VLAN database change will occur. On transparent mode switch, CR number will always be 0, as I already told you. So the types of VTP updates and messages, coming on to these. So we'll be discussing these three types here. The join message we'll be discussing in VTP pruning. I'll be discussing VTP pruning in the next part. So there are three types of VTP updates or messages: summary advertisement, subset advertisement, and subset request. So these three we'll be discussing. So uh, all the types of messages which are propagated at either triggered or periodic. So the periodic messages don't get acknowledged. So those are the kind of UDP messages, for example, they don't get acknowledged. However, the TCP messages get acknowledged, so they are sent as triggered. So this is majorly the difference. So all the type of messages are either triggered or periodic. So periodic messages don't get acknowledged. So UDP is the type of messages which do not get acknowledged. So coming on to summary advertisement. So these are sent periodically after 300 seconds, and it will send as triggered on any VLAN database change. So if any VLAN database change occurs, so it will be sent as triggered, or it will be sent after every 300 seconds. So we won't wait for 300 seconds to get these informations here in our topology. So we'll be creating a VLAN onto a switch, and we'll be seeing that the information is propagated across the switches. So the contents of the summary advertisement are VTP domain name, CR number, version of VTP, MD5 digest value, and the total number of subset advertisement messages. Now, in the MD5 digest value, they calculate it on the basis of domain name, password, and CR number. So we'll be going through this as well. So coming on to subset advertisements. So these are sent as triggered whenever any VLAN change will occur. So similarly, like summary advertisement, the subset advertisement will also be sent as triggered on any VLAN change. So these will be sent as the response of subset request message, and it will contain the actual VLAN information. So the actual VLAN information will be contained by subset advertisement messages. So I'll be showing you that the switches will be exchanging these subset advertisement messages amongst them, and these summary advertisements are among them. So this has the purpose of VTP domain name, CR number, version of VTP, MD5 digest value, and total number of subset advertisement messages. In the subset advertisement messages, we have the VLAN information, and it will be sent as subset request message response. So what is a subset request? So coming on to this topology now, and so by default the mode is server for all these switches, and the domain name is null. So switch 3 will send a subset request to server switch 2, and then switch 2 will send a subset advertisement. So the subset advertisement will be generated by switch 2. Okay. So in this subset advertisement, it will have all the information of switch 3, and it will update its database. So for example, if we have VLAN 10, 20 or 30 here, so all these informations will be propagated to switch 2. Switch 2 will update itself by these VLANs, and then it will act as a relay agent. However, for now it won't calculate its MD5 value. So let's come on to the topic. So if we configure the domain name on switch 1, it will be forwarded to the switch 2. So if we configure any domain name here, for example ABC, so it will calculate its MD5 value. Let's assume that MD5 value is M currently, or A currently. So this is not the MD5 value. Let me get rid of it. So let's assume the MD5 value is A. So initially, so it will recalculate its MD5 value as B. Now this MD5 value will be propagated to switch 2. Now as switch 2 will see that this has a MD5 value of B, and it has an MD5 value of A, and on changing the domain name ABC, it will increase the CR number as 1. So it will get the information from the greater CR number. Currently its CR number is 0. So it will accept this. Initially, what would happen if we would not have configured this domain name as ABC? It would have discarded this MD5 value of B as it has received it from the CR number 0. So this switch won't recalculate its MD5 value. So the switch 2 will not calculate its MD5 value. It has got the configuration from switch 1. Switch 3 will not have any domain name on it as all are in the server mode. Okay. So after every 300 seconds, switch 1 will generate summary message. Switch 2 has an MD5 value on it, let's say A, we just saw it, and it will forward it to switch 3. Only in the case of null domain name, it will forward to switch 3. And the most important part here is that the MD5 value should match. So I will just configure this topology on EVE-NG. So let me turn on my VM. So it will take a bit of time. So friends, now we are on the lab. So I'm having four switches here. So let me delete these switches and then I will add new switches. I will add nodes. I will take four switches. I'll select an icon for that. And we should be good. Hmm. Let me delete this. I will make it as E0/10/1. That should be good. I'll turn on these switches. So what will I do is that I'll initially configure the interfaces as trunk in between these switches. So I'll go to interface Ethernet 0/0. I'll say switch port trunk encapsulation dot one q. Switch port mode as trunk. Now should be good now. Same here. I will say interface range Ethernet 0/0 to 1 and switch port trunk encapsulation dot one q and switch port mode as trunk. Similarly, I'll do it here. So enable conf interface Ethernet 0/1. I'll say switch port trunk encapsulation dot one q and I'll say switch port mode as trunk. So all these should be good now. So I'll just do show VLAN brief. So you can see that initially these 5 VLANs are created here also. So you can see these 5 VLANs are created here and on switch 3 as well. So you can see 5 VLANs are here as well. So what will I do is that I'll configure the host name of these switches. So I'll configure host switch 2 and switch 1. So now we have configured the host names of these switches and so initially if I take you through these switches, their VTP configuration would be in server mode. They'll be running VTP version 1 and the CR number will be 0 plus the domain number will be domain name will be set to as null. So let me show you that as well. Show VTP status is the command to see the VTP details. So it is capable to run versions 1 to 3. Currently it is running as version 1. You can see that the domain name is null We'll talk about VTP pruning and VTP trap generations in the next part. All these components, updater IDs and all. So you can see that the maximum VLAN supported locally are 1005. So normal range VLANs, and BTP operating mode is the server mode. Configuration revision number is 0, and this MD5 digest value is calculated. So we'll just copy paste the MD5 value of the switches switch 3. So I'll just copy paste these values, MD5 values from the switches here. So we'll just check show VTP status. So you can see that same things are here as well. So it has calculated its MD5 value. So now going on to the notepad, you can see the MD5 value is same in both the switches. And coming to the third switch, show VTP status. So it has also calculated its MD5 value. So currently the domain name is set as null. So we'll be setting the domain name to, let's say, ABC. So we'll see that the switch 1, if we are setting the domain name to ABC on switch 1, we'll see that switch 1 will recalculate its MD5 value. It would be different than this. So as the MD5 value will be recalculated, I'll just turn on the debugging for VTP events onto this debug switch VLAN VTP events. VTP events debug switch VLAN VTP events. So the VTP debugging is is on currently onto all these switches. So we'll just change the domain name to ABC, and let's see which messages are sent for VTP. So we'll say VTP domain ABC. So now you can see that the VTP domain name has changed from null to ABC, and it has calculated its MD5 value again. And now the domain is ABC with the revision number of 0. So we'll just do show VTP status. So you will see that on changing the domain name to ABC, there is no change in the CR number, but the MD5 value has changed. So for switch 1, the MD5 value was this earlier. So let me paste this MD5 value here. Let me delete this one as well. So on switch 2 and on switch 3 as well, we'll just check for whether the MD5 value is same or not. So we'll go to the switch 2, we'll do show VTP status. So you'll see that we have not configured the domain name here onto this switch as it's in server mode. So we have not configured it onto this switch, so that is the reason it has not recalculated its MD5 value. You can see that the MD5 value is what it was before. So it will take normally 300 seconds to send the summary advertisement messages and the subset advertisement messages. So we won't wait for 300 seconds. We'll just go on to switch 1 and we'll create a VLAN. So I'll go to the switch 1, I'll say VLAN 10 and I'll say exit. Now you'll see that some VTP summary advertisements are transmitted. So it has transmitted VTP summary advertisement by the domain name of ABC and by the CR number of 1. So when we check onto this switch, show VTP status, So you will see that the configuration revision number is increased by 1 and the number of existing VLANs are 6. So show VLAN brief will give the VLAN details. So here is the VLAN 10. Now we'll check on to switch 2 whether this information has propagated or not. So from here we can see that the revision number is 1 and we can check that the revision number is 1 here and the number of VLANs are 6 now. So show VLAN brief will have the VLAN 10 in it. Similarly on the switch 3 we'll do show VTP status. We'll see that the revision number is 1 and the VLANs found are 6. So show VLAN brief will also display the VLAN 10 here. So now coming on to the MD5 value. So switch 3 has calculated its MD5 value as this. So we'll just copy paste it. On switch 2 it has calculated the MD5 value as this. We'll just copy paste it. On switch 1 it has calculated the MD5 value as this. So you can see all these MD5 values are same. So unless the MD5 values are same, it will transmit the BTP summary updates or the subset requests or the subset advertisements to the connected neighbors. So as we have all the mode or all the switches in the server mode, and if any attacker latches onto this switch somehow and this switch is in the server mode and the attacker does no VLAN 10, so this will increase the revision number by 1 and it will delete the VLAN, right? So we'll do exit and you will see that the revision number is 2 now and there won't be any VLAN now. So the VLANs would be 5 instead of 6 here. So show VTP status will show us that the VLAN numbers are 5 here and the configuration number has changed to 2 and so this information has been propagated to all these switches, to both of these switches. So they have updated their VLAN database and they have removed the VLAN 10 from there. So it would be a problem somehow, right? So to rectify this we can just configure switch 2 and switch 3 as client modes of VTP. So we'll go to switch port, we'll say VTP mode client. So it has set itself to client and now we'll go here on switch 3 VTP mode client and it has set as client. Now if we create any VLAN on switch 1, its information will be propagated to switch 2 and switch 3, but we cannot create any information or we cannot create any VLANs onto switch 2 and switch 3 because they are in client mode. So we'll go on to switch mode, we'll again say VLAN 10, exit. Now VTP messages will be sent with the revision number of 3, you can see, and now we will say show VLAN brief. So you can see VLAN 10 is here and then show VTP status. We'll see that the revision number is increased to 3 and it has calculated a different MD5 value. So we'll copy paste this MD5 value here and we'll delete these values from here. So coming on to switch 2, do show VTP status. You can see the revision number is 3, it has calculated its MD5 value, we'll copy paste it here. So on switch 2 it has calculated the MD5 value of this and here it has calculated the MD5 value as this. So you can see that these MD5 values are same. So it will propagate the information, but if we want to delete any VLAN onto the client mode. So you can see here it is client, switch 2 is also client. So if we want to delete anything, we'll say no VLAN 10, it won't accept it, it won't take it, it will throw an error. You can see like this, VTP VLAN configuration not allowed when the device is in the client mode. So if accidentally someone runs a command onto the client mode, it won't have any effect. Now coming to a complex case scenario, like if a hacker introduces himself as a switch. Okay, so let's assume that this switch is of the hacker, and it has connected itself with our environment switch. And now when this switch comes up, switch 3 comes up, the attacker would be able to take the information of the switch 3 of all these switches onto him. So let's go to on this attacker switch. So switch 3 will reconnect again. You will see that the revision number is currently 3, and here onto switch 4, show VTP status, you will see that the revision number is 0 currently, and the domain name is set to as null. Now if this attacker makes Ethernet 0/0 as trunk .1q, you'll see that the information will be propagated from these switches to this switch. So I'll enable the debug VTP switch VLAN VTP events and host as switch 3. So here we'll just configure the host name as switch 4. So let's assume it's an attacker here onto the switch 4, and now this attacker will make the Ethernet 0/0 as trunk, this port as trunk. So we'll see that whether the VTP information, the messages are being propagated or not. Most probably they'll be propagating. So we'll just enable the debugging for VTP. So debug switch VLAN VTP events will be the command. So now interface Ethernet 0/0 switch port trunk encapsulation .1q switch port mode trunk. Show VTP status. You will see that it has received the domain ABC with the revision number of 3 now. So it has set his domain name as ABC, and now the VLAN 10 is also here on this switch. So from this switch, as it is in server mode, the user can delete, the hacker or the attacker can delete the VLAN 10 which is here in this database. So show VLAN brief will give the details about the VLAN, that this is the VLAN. So we'll try deleting this VLAN. So no VLAN 10. So you will see that it will delete the VLANs. Now the revision number is set to as 4. Show VLAN brief. The VLAN is not here anymore. Show VTP status. The revision number is 4, and the MD5 digest value calculated by this switch is this. So we'll make a note of this as well. Switch 4 has the MD5 value as this. So coming on to switch 3, we'll do show VTP status It has also updated its revision number by 4 and calculated its MD5 value. So it must be matching with this one. So you can see these both the values are same. On switch 2, we'll do show VTP status, and it has also calculated its MD5 value. On switch 1, it has also calculated its MD5 value. So all these MD5 values are same, you can see. Now the information is propagating. So the user is able to access our network and he is able to delete the information of VLANs. So it's a complication, it's a challenge, right? So to avoid this, we have VTP passwords. So we can enable VTP passwords here. So to enable VTP password, we will say VTP password ABC123 or whatever the password you want to set. Okay, so switch to, we will say VTP password ABC123. So the password should match on all the switches. On switch 3, we will say VTP password ABC123. So the password has matched. Now on the switch 4, if we have created a VLAN 10 here now. Now VLAN 10 is created here. Now this information is propagated to switch 2 and switch 3 only. This won't be propagated to switch 4. So on switch 2, it has VLAN 10 on it and it must have the CR number as 5. So the CR number as 5 is received here. So you can see the CR number is 5 and it has calculated its MD5 value here. On switch 3, switch 1 has also calculated its MD5 value. So these two MD5 values will be same. Coming on to switch 3. So this MD5 value has been calculated by switch 3 and all these MD5 values are, these three switches MD5 values are same. And now coming on to switch 4, the VLAN information is not propagated as the MD5 digest is failing. So we'll just see show VTP status and you'll see it has not updated its CR number and its MD5 value is what it was before, 0C0. This was the MD5 value. So it has not calculated its MD5 value as it has the password mismatch onto this. We have not given the VTP domain name, VTP password as ABC123 onto this switch. So this attacker switch is not aware of the VTP password. Hence, this switch won't be able to do anything. So let's try deleting VLANs. So conft no VLAN 10. So you will say here that no information is propagated to this switch. Show VLAN brief. You can see the VLAN 10 is here and now our network is secured by VTP password. One more thing, there can be one more thing that if we configure switch 2 or switch 3 as transparent mode switch. So we'll say VTP mode as transparent. Now we'll be able to create extended range VLANs onto this switch. So we'll create VLAN 2000, exit. So now you will see that this information of this VLAN 2000 is not propagated to any other switch. Okay, so this is the transparent mode switch, so its CR number will be 0 always. So let's check it. Show VTP status is the command, so you can see that the CR number is 0, and the VLANs onto this switch are show VLAN brief 6 VLAN. So these are the VLANs, so it won't update itself. Alright, so it will forward the information without updating itself. So if I create a VLAN as conf t here, VLAN 20 exit, now you will see that revision number 6 is sent to all the switches. So it will also receive, but it will relay the packet which is received on trunk in transparent mode, as it is in transparent mode. So we'll just check show VLAN brief. So you'll see that it has not updated itself. VLAN 20 is not here, but VLAN 20 is on the switch 3. Show VLAN brief. So you can see that VLAN 20 is here. And as there was password mismatch for this attacker switch, so MD5 digest is failing here. So let's configure its VTP domain name as XYZ. So it has again calculated its MD5 value now, and the revision number is set to 0. So we'll just check. So the revision number is set to as 0, and it has calculated its MD5 value again, and the domain name is changed to XYZ. So we'll also say VTP domain XYZ here. So it will also set its revision number as 0. Do show VTP status. So you can see that it has changed its CR number to 0, and it has calculated its MD5 value. Now if I set the VTP password onto these switches, so I'll say VTP password as XYZ123, and I'll say VTP password as XYZ123 here. So we have set the VTP password and VTP domain name on these two switches. Now creating a VLAN 30 on this switch. So this is currently in client mode, so this is in transparent. So I'll just change this transparent mode to client mode. So I'll say VTP mode client, and now you'll see that domain name is mismatched, so the packets are being dropped on this trunk interface. So here if I say, as this is in server mode, so if I say VLAN 30 here, so it will propagate its information with the revision number of 1 to switch 3. Okay, so show VTP status, so configuration revision number is 1, and show VLAN brief. So you can see that VLAN 30 is reflected here as well. So now as these two are in a different domain and these two switches are in a different domain, so let me come on to this topology. So let's assume that this is also a switch connected here. The domain name is XYZ for both of these, and the domain name is ABC for both of these. So these switches are in ABC domain and these switches are in XYZ domain. So if we have dynamic desirable or dynamic auto here, even if we have this, the trunk will not be found here onto this link. The trunk will not be found. So we will have to proactively go to that interface to enable the encapsulation as .1q trunk, and as DTP frames are getting exchanged, so if we have a user here connected and a user here connected, and if we want communications between these two users, so we will have to disable DTP from these two interfaces, and we have to configure it as trunk statically. So the communication will happen between these two users. So this was all for the first part today, and I'll also be updating the part 2 in the next session. So I hope you enjoyed this session. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to receive the notifications. I hope you enjoyed my session. Have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe. Bye bye.